Hey, what's up? It's Y, the team captain of the CMU Rodeo team, and your host for this show.
And I'm Brandon Edwards, head coach of the CMU Rodeo team, and your co-host.
Welcome back to a brand new season of Rodeo Recorded. This season's going to be even better than last because we're acting in real time. We're going to bring you a new episode within the week of the rodeo instead of waiting till the season's over. So with that being said, let's dive right in.
Let's do it. The Lady Mavs made a really strong appearance at the first rodeo of the 2025 spring season when they traveled last weekend to Twin Falls, Idaho to the College of Southern Idaho. Now, we had two of the Lady Mavs take home belt buckles and had several ladies placed towards the top of their individual events.
In this show, we will recap all of the thrills, spills, and triumphs from each weekend's rodeo. We're bringing you the most exciting moments from the arena. From heart-pounding bull rides to stunning barrel runs, we'll relive the highs, the heartbreak, and the jaw-dropping action that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Whether you missed the show or you just want to experience it all over again, we've got you covered. Saddle up and let's dive into the wildest rides of the CSI Rodeo. This is Rodeo Recorded.
Mike and Talent in 5, 4.
Thanks again for joining us. I'm Wiley Mitchell.
And I'm Brandon Edwards. Let's take a deep dive into last weekend's rodeo.
Now, the breakaway roping was a bit of a drawing contest. The calves started slow, then hit another gear. So we watched a lot of girls break out and a lot get outran. They were small, so we also saw a lot run through the loop. It was pretty wide open, as a 5.3 was the cutoff to make the short go. Haley Gibbs, a CSI Golden Eagle, won the long round with a 2.5. Our Justice Jones was the only Maverick to make it back to the short go. She was a 4.3, which placed her 5th. However, she had some unfortunate luck in the short go. The College of Southern Idaho took the average win. Haley Gibbs was a 6.2 on 2 head. Now, I know we're talking breakaway here, but in barrel racing terms, she 3D'd the competition. The closest time to her was a 7.2.
We didn't have any Mavericks make the short round in the team roping, but it was still exceptionally good watching. Deegan Patton and Rhett Nebaker won the long round with a 6-4, and Snow College came to rope this weekend, with the Olsen brothers ending up with the average win with 14.4 seconds on their average time. Behind them was their teammates McCrae Fillmore and Wyatt Rindlisbacher. Now, I'm really hoping next week we get to mention a few more Snow College kids, specifically the ones with our rope. Specifically the ones who rope with our CMU Mavericks.
Goat Tying University. That's how the announcer introduced CMU, and he wasn't kidding. Goats was a highlighted event that the Mavs dominated in at the first rodeo. 4 out of the 10 qualifiers that made the short round were wearing Maverick vests. Justice Jones started the rodeo strong, placing 2nd in the round with a 7.0 on a 96-foot score. She kept it consistent, tying another 7 flat in the short go for a total of 14 seconds. Justice won the average and was awarded the Golden Eagle belt buckle for the 2nd time in her career. Shay Grogan tied an 8.8 and an 8.3, placing her 5th in the average. Behind her, Mackenzie Betts kept it consistent with an 8.8 and an 8.9. And Josie Fitzsimmons was also an 8.9 on her first run. Overall, the Lady Mavericks know how to tie a goat.
Now, the barrel racing this weekend was one to remember. Our very own Kaylin Beauvais won the average for the first time in her college career, and you better get used to hearing that name because I think it's something we're going to see quite a lot of, especially in this first part of the season's indoor arenas. Now, she was a 15.4 in the first round and had a smoking short round, placing her at the top in the average, while Riley Nugent also made her first ever short go at a rodeo and then proceeded to win that short round, placing her 4th in the average. Justice Jones hopped back on her mom's horse Ruth for the first time since regionals last year, and she made it back to the short round with a 16.1.
So overall, our Mavs dominated and started the season out with a bang. Now that we've looked at each of the events individually, let's take a look at this week's short go photo. We had a variety of ladies come back in a variety of events.
Now, Justice was a 3-event qualifier and ended up placing 2nd in the weekend overall in the all-around standings. And as a team, the Lady Mavericks ended up 3rd, bringing in a total of 220 points.
Now, we talked about all the statistics and the nitty-gritty details, but before we leave, let's talk about some of our favorite moments from the weekend. For me, I've got to say, how about them freshmen? Every freshman on our team made it back to the short round. We had Josie and Mackenzie in the goats, and Kaylin and Riley in the barrels. I remember showing up to Twin Falls as a freshman, and it's a lot different than any of the other rodeos that we have up to that point in the season. And all those ladies handled it so well and absolutely crushed it. And it's kind of fun that Kaylin won the buckle as a freshman, because I did back when I was running
Right.
Jack. So now we have twinning Golden Eagle belt buckles from our freshman year. What was your favorite?
You know, that arena to me is always a real challenge because it's a very unique setup, not only coming in at different times during the slack and preparing for that, but also kind of dealing with some scheduling challenges. So anytime you get freshmen in there, especially to really figure out how they're coming in and being able to run off that right-hand wall, shorten arena to the end, a little bit shorter than the usual average goat pattern, good place to adjust and get some freshman wiles out of the way.
I agree, and especially like we're headed to Tremont in here shortly, so it's the same kind of indoor, not as small of an indoor, but I think it kind of got everybody's foot, even the upperclassmen too,
Yeah.
got our foot back in the door, and a good way to start the season.
Yeah, and a high energy rodeo. Lots of crowd. Definitely changes it from some of the rodeos that you see in the fall where it feels more open and kind of quieter.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I want to bring up is the weather. I know my freshman year I got stuck.
It was miserable.
It was so snowy, it was so cold, but I was really grateful this year. I was walking around in a long sleeve shirt and I didn't even have to have a sweatshirt on.
Yeah, no blizzard, no having to put the four-wheel drive in. I'm okay with that.
So, that's a wrap for this weekend's Rodeo Recorded recap. We've seen incredible victories, heart-stopping misses, and the kind of grit that makes rodeo one of the most thrilling sports around. Thanks for joining us as we relived the highs, the lows, in and out of the arena. And don't forget to tune into the next episode for more rodeo recaps. I'm your host, Wiley Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon Edwards.
And if you enjoyed watching this week, why stop now? We'll see you on the next episode of Rodeo Recorded.
Get ready to fade to black in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fade to black.